Hey guys, today we're talking Initial D.
早い。あいつめ、またさらに凄みが増してやがんな。
Initial D was a manga series that started in 1995 and went to 2013 in the Weekly Young magazine in Japan. Now, eventually, this would be brought out and converted into a anime in 1998. And in this anime, they combined action-packed racing, downhill racing, and all different types of cars from the JDM world. RX-7s, this manga made the AE86 Corolla or Trueno in Japan huge. I made it an icon with the two-tone panda livery. They also had RX-7s, R32s, R33s, R34s. By the end of the series, you started seeing S2000s, MR2s, you name it. All the big Japanese cars were in this series. They made it with action-packed racing, and at the same time, they had an ultimate scoring with some music. They contracted a music style called Eurobeat, which is basically a English pop mixed with high-speed techno, melted together, and with the action-packed racing and this being overlaid over top of it, made for some amazing tracks, amazing scenes. And it was just pure adrenaline the whole entire way through. There was barely any like just sit down and relax type moments. Made a splash over in America in the early 2000s where they made an English dub and obviously a subbed version that you could get over here. It was originally brought over by Funimation. The plot was basically there's this young kid in his local town that his father was grooming him as a driver from the age of like 13. His dad owns a tofu shop, and they live near this mountain called Mount Akina, and it has this awesome mountain roads on it, windy downhill course with a whole bunch of switchbacks and like eight or nine crazy hairpins in succession. And Takumi would drive this every day to get his tofu deliveries. And by the time he realized it, his dad had taught him incredible car control. And basically, his dad would time him to go take this tofu up the mountain and back down the mountain. And he taught him car control by putting water in a cup and putting it in a cup holder and telling him to learn how the inertia of the car to control the inertia of the car so that he can keep the water from spilling. Because if he spilled the water, then he would ruin the tofu in the back. Like, freaking insane. Not sure how that would actually translate into real life, but hell, it sounds freaking philosophical if you're a car guy. So over the first season, you see him challenge new rivals over and over again. Some of them he triumphs against, some of them he struggles. And the best part about it is he doesn't know that he caught the bug for racing. He's slowly catching the bug, and it's so cool to watch how he catches this bug and then he progresses. And then in later series, this show ran from like from like 2000 to like 2012, there was some stalling in between. There was some stuff with some studio issues, and you can tell because when you watch the first season, the animation progressively gets better as the show goes on. Because it's such a leap in animation from when first season came out to when the last season debuted. There was a total of 4 seasons and a fifth. The 4 seasons are labeled as stages. There's a total of 4 stages, and then the fifth stage or the final stage, which was a movie. Um, but it follows life of this kid driving his dad's 86 Corolla or Trueno, and he built a reputation. And eventually, that reputation leads him to getting challenges from other drivers, traveling all over Japan into other prefectures, not just in the prefecture he's in, which is Gunma, to race other opponents to cut his skills. And the best part about it, he's in an underpowered car for the first season and a half. Eventually, he runs into an issue where he blows the motor, and they have to swap a new motor in the vehicle. But and the best part is his dad was prepping him for it the whole time. So like, I mean, it's an amazing thing. Like his dad is the hardest dude on him by far. Um, this series not only propelled the tuner culture bigger in Japan because they were feeding it to kids, but it also propelled the tuner culture in America because the tuners that were out there when in the early 2000s were gearing and showing this to their younger siblings that were just starting to drive, and it really, really, really propelled the show forward, to the point where this show gave birth to video games. There's other animes that were kind of like written in the same type of aspect. One was called Maximum Tune, um, and Wangan Midnight. Um, and then they even brought out arcade games and video games for this series. I remember when I was a kid in high school, me and my buddy would go over to our local mall. They had an arcade there, and they had Maximum Tune, Wangan Midnight, and they had the Initial D game. So we would literally go over and spend hours just freaking racing other guys online on these consoles, which at that point was like unheard of to have like these like in store arcade consoles that could play you could play some other person on the other side of the planet. It was pretty freaking cool. And the best thing about this series is they didn't like none of it's like Fast and Furious coded, we'll say, where like Fast and Furious they were naming modifications that weren't necessarily, we'll say, legitimate, or they were talking car lingo that wasn't like legitimate. The technical know-how that these guys went through just to write the manga and then that got translated into the anime is absolutely incredible. There's talks of turbo swaps, engine swaps, power to weight ratio, dampener bias, like you name it, and the technical stuff is in there. And the best part is the way they have it written in, it doesn't dull the show out. Like they'll be in the middle of a drift, the guy will be explaining why the car sits the way it does in the drift and why the guy can contain control just because of how the setup is. Like the technical know-how in this is amazing. Um, the franchise really, really, really picked up a whole subculture in Japan. You can go to like Initial D themed restaurants in Japan. A lot of the car shows you go to in Japan, there is mock-ups of these Initial D cars. They are icons. They are Japanese icons. Um, the other things that you always see all the time is there's model kits. You freaking name it. Like there's so much shit out there right now. There is currently spin-off series running with another spin-off manga, or two spin-off manga, sorry. Manga slash spin-off anime series MF Ghost started a couple years ago. They are on their third season, I believe. It just started like 2 weeks ago. Highly check that out. It is on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll now owns the rights to all of Initial D. So if you want to find Initial D and you want to watch it, it is on Crunchyroll. You can get it there. And the second one is Subaru Subaru, which is Subaru or Subaru and Subaru. That one I really get into. From what I can see, it's about a girl and her BRZ and her adventures with her BRZ. I have not started read, haven't read any of that yet. Looking into getting into that, but right now I'm kind of still in the MF Ghost thing. Um, but as of April 2021, the Initial D series. Now I tried to figure this out because of where I got my numbers from was an official website, but it doesn't say if it's Initial D and MF Ghost and Subaru, if it's just Initial D. As of 2020, April 2021, Initial D has sold over 55 million copies worldwide of whether it's manga or the Blu-ray DVD collection that or digital downloads of Initial D. I know for me, it got me into really watching like toge and drifting. It also got me into um, like when I was younger, I started watching it, got me into like really tuning aspects of different things. Like I really learned to respect like certain other cars that before like I was just like, oh, like I like the way it looks, but it is what it is. But just realizing like when they were going into like some of the technical abilities of the vehicles, and the JDM lingo of the vehicles, it really gave me a great appreciation um for that. And like I said, the key parts of this series are when you see Takumi, which is the main character, driving against vehicles that he has no business beating. I mean, some of the biggest names in Japanese car culture he's racing against, like I said, R34s, R33s, RX7s, Mitsubishi Evos, or the first or OG Evos, the Land Evos he was running against. Like, there's no reason this kid should be smoking these cars, and he's holding his own. Um, it's an amazing series. Highly recommend you guys watch it. This is just a brief overview of the show because I don't want to ruin it all for you. Um, I, I hope you like the clips I've been dropping into the video going through here. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you want more, uh, or if you want to be part of our viewers rides videos. Like I said, you have to participate to be part of those videos. I have some, like I said, I've been moving on and getting stuff rolling with. So those will be coming out soon. And then as soon as we get those rolled out, we're gonna continue with stuff. I am gonna start vlogging at some point this year as well. We're just working towards that. Right now, it's where I live. Right now, it is super cold outside, and another buddy has a project at his house. That's where I do most of my modifications, and because he has a lift over there, and his car is still down. So as soon as that car is fixed up and ready to go and back on the road, and I can get some parts ordered and get some stuff over here, like I'll start doing build videos on my WRX, and yeah, I'll walk you guys through everything and where I'm getting it tuned and who I'm having it tuned by and with the setup and everything else. It's gonna be completely transparent. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm not gonna hide anything. This car is gonna be a streetable car. It's not gonna be anything fancy. I'm not shooting for like 700 horsepower or anything like that. It's just gonna be a streetable, fun car to drive. And I can go over some of my other stuff. But like I said, this page is about you guys. It's about tuner culture, about building a community. It's about not doing this takeover bullshit. It's just straight car community, car culture, history, new stuff, your rides, your scene. Like, follow, subscribe, comment. Find us on Instagram and our TikTok. And we'll see you next week.